Hey everyone, I'm finally back again with another SpeedPaint video after 3 months from my last one. Okay, look guys, I am sorry for the long absences that keep happening, and I know I keep saying the reason why is because it's cool, which it is. It's just that I thought the spring semester would be a lot easier than last year, since the classes I had for this semester were all related to my art major, and I didn't have to do any gen ed classes. But oh boy, was I wrong. I probably should have expected that, since I was doing 5 classes and I was working really long hours during Friday and the weekends at my job. For my classes, it was figure drawing, 3D modeling, game design, group animation, and the class where we basically take any kind of topic that can form it into our own form of art. Okay, that last is kind of hard to explain, but I think the hardest class was definitely figure drawing. Mainly, my teacher was strict when it came to doing drawings. Like, don't expect anyone in her class to get A's, because the moment she sees one small problem in your portrait, she just straight up tears it down. She's basically Gordon Ramsay if he was an artist. She wasn't a bad teacher though. She did help me gain some techniques when it came to my drawing, but the way she teaches it, the drawing had to look realistic as possible in order for you to get a good grade. Like yeah. My other classes were pretty easy though, which is what I would say if my time management was properly managed, because like I said, I had no free time whatsoever this semester. So all the time I was stuck doing homework or working, and it felt like torture, especially since my class required a lot of sketching. So yeah, I had barely any sleep this semester. So one class I found most interesting was 3D modeling. I mean, I liked the class, it was pretty fun, and the professor was cool. It's just that for our last assignment, we had to do stills and animation, and what I learned for 3D animation is that you have to enter a certain amount of frames and let the computer render what you animated. Now that sounds pretty easy, but my laptop does not work with Maya, which is a 3D platform that they gave us, so I had to do it at my school's art center. So yeah, for half of April I was doing all-nighters at my school, at my art center, and I would be staying there till either 12 or 1 a.m. Yep, past midnight, and I knew I could just let it load all night by itself while I went home. But the school's computers are put in sleep mode after 1 hour of inactivity, and the setting is also locked, so I couldn't turn the sleep mode off. Also, for some odd reason, the computer I used would do errors while it was rendering, so I couldn't really leave the computer by itself. I mean, it wasn't all that bad though, because there were other classmates that were in the same situation as me in there. Some of them actually stayed and slept in the classroom till early morning. But to make the classroom fun, some of them would bring in their laptops and install all of them into the class's screen monitor, where we would watch some movies and anime. Also, some of us would bring in snacks too, so it wasn't all that bad. But yeah, and anyway, this semester was really time consuming for me, but I passed all my classes and I had the summer break off, which gave me the time to actually do more videos for you guys, and I'm really excited about that. Also, I posted a video a few weeks ago. It was a group project for my animation class. Check it out if you had the time. So now that explanations are done out of the way, it's time for today's SpeedPaint video, and I'm really excited for this one because I'm going to be doing crossover fan art, mainly South Park characters in the Scott Pilgrim universe, and the title for this project is going to be called Tweek Tweak versus the world. Now, I know some of you guys want me to do human designs of the Puss in Boots characters, and do not worry, I am planning on doing that soon. Just that for their designs, I wanted to be a little more creative with them, plus I need to practice more on drawing clothes. so that might take a little bit of time, but don't worry, it'll come up soon. But I think you guys might enjoy this little project I'm doing. Now, before I get started, I want to talk a little bit about the South Park character I'm doing today, which is Tweek, and also South Park in general. Now, I have been watching South Park since I was about 14 when I was streaming on Hulu, back when I was, getting curious about what other kind of shows were on. Now, I did see clips and merchandise of the show way before that, but I think my first exposure to South Park was when I was 7, with the episode where Mr. Garrison was a woman and became a lesbian. Okay, it was late at night. I was so awake, my mom was asleep, and Cartoon Network and Disney weren't on. Plus, it was German, so I couldn't understand any of it. But I mean, I'm pretty sure we were all exposed to some mature and graphic stuff when we were little. I mean, during that time, I was also exposed to Happy Tree Friends and Drawn Together during that time. But those are still ways for another time. When I first saw the show, I found it really funny, especially the season after season 6. And Carmen was definitely the highlight of the show with all the crazy stuff he would do. I also watched the later seasons, and they were pretty good. I can't wait to see what they have in store for next season. As for the character Tweek, I honestly don't know what to say about him. I mean, I don't hate him. I actually like some of the moments with him and Craig, and some of the moments alone when he spazzes out. They're pretty funny. I just think he's an okay character. I mean, I know he had a lot of main episodes when he was the second replacement for Kenny for the first half of season 6, but after several episodes, he sort of just disappears from the group. Not even showing up in the season finale, and Kenny appears at the very end. So I was kind of hoping that he would show why Tweek led the gang, but hey, I guess that's up to us. But overall, Tweek, a pretty okay character. I mean, I'm not a character reviewer by any means, at least not yet. So please don't take my opinion personally. But anyway, guys, let's get right into my design because this speech took way too long. Okay, so Tweek is obviously going to be the Scott Pilgrim of this world, and I want to talk about the story of this AU, how Tweek is as a character, and lastly, I want to talk about his design process. Now, the story for this AU follows the same structure as Scott Pilgrim, but told a bit differently since it is an AU for South Park. It takes place 11 years into this future. Tweek is now 21 years old and works at his parents' coffee shop. He is also a recent graduate from culinary school as he is practicing to be a baker and is saving up money while working at his family business in order to make enough money for him to own his own bakery. I came up with a baker idea since he's been around his parents' coffee shop since the day he was born, or at the very least since the day the coffee shop opened, and there was an episode of him making cupcakes, so it would make sense for him to have a hobby for baking. Also, he would show off his baked goods to his parents and convince them to sell them with the family coffee in order for them to bring in more business. And because their coffee tastes like so it would bring in people to try something that isn't the coffee. And guys, I know I'm probably going to be attacked by some people for this statement, but I didn't like the way Tweek and Craig were kind of forced to be together in the episode that revolved around the ship about them. And yes, I know they appear to be happy together in later episodes and are still shown together even when the town's not fangirling over them. But I'm just being honest, I just don't like it when relationships are forced in cartoons and media, especially when they don't make any sense. And the fact that some form with no development whatsoever, and also some being one-sided. Then again, it is South Park, so that's just my opinion. So for Tweek and Craig's relationship in this AU, when they were in 4th grade, they both decided to break up because of the fact that their relationship because they felt their relationship was forced, especially with the town basically gaslighting them into being in a relationship. So they decided that maybe in the future they can start this relationship over in a natural way without being forced. Now they still remain friends and have hung out together, especially with their gang, and there were some instances where they would date other people. Some of them lasted longer than others, but neither of them seemed to mind it. It would be like that up until the day of high school graduation, where they parted ways since both of them were heading different colleges but still kept long distance calls with each other and would meet up sometimes for summer break. But it would be until the day Tweek graduated when they fully decided to start dating again. But for those of you who have read the Scott Pilgrim comic or watched the movie, you know what happens. In order for Tweek and Craig to start dating again, Tweek has to fight and defeat Craig's 7 evil exes. For the groups in this AAU, it's going to be Team Craig versus the exes. For Team Craig, the members are close friends and acquaintances with Tweek and Craig. Some of them aren't just there because they support Tweek and Craig's relationship, but they are also there because they have some sort of connection with each of the exes, whether they were friends, acquaintances, or used to be in a romantic relationship. Also, one of the Team Craig slots is going to be a 2-for-1 deal, which means that there will be a duo together, and I will draw them both at the same time. So for the next slot selection, you will see both characters in the same slot, and I'm not talking about the slot for the next video about this, but it will be there sometime. I won't tell you who this is gonna be, so stay tuned for that. As for the exes from Craig's past relationships, during the end of high school and during college, for who the exes are, I am basing them on Craig's interaction with other characters, and also based on the fandom's most popular ship besides Craig. As for the designs of the exes, they're going to be designed where they're basically a negative version of themselves, and the designs will be based on what they were like in a past episode. Once each ex is defeated, instead of bursting into coins, they will be transformed back into their normal selves. I'll probably share their normal design exclusively for Instagram if I design them. Now, for Tweek's personality in the story, I know I said a lot of stuff about him in the beginning, but I want to talk a little bit more about him, and this time with Craig and the gang. Now, Tweek still has his usual spasms and anxiety problems, but it's been calmed down ever since he was hanging around Craig, because Craig has been able to find ways to help Tweek calm down and help him control his anxiety. Now, their first date since getting back together was a little rough, but through time they eventually start to know each other more and their relationships to actually develop. Sometimes Tweek would also bring in his baked goods to Craig, and sometimes Craig would unintentionally criticize the food, which would cause Tweek to freak out, but later on Tweek would use these words to improve on his baking skills. I'll go into more detail about the relationship when I finally draw Craig. But I finally want to talk about the design process for Tweek, and I'll be honest here, I could not figure out how to design Tweek without making him look basic or overdone. I don't really find Tweek to be that fashion type, since most of the time he just wears an probably button shirt. So I think he would just wear casual clothing, nothing special but nothing too bland. At first I thought of showing him in his usual outfit while having him wear an apron that belongs to his famous coffee shop, but that started to look basic. So then I thought of giving him a flannel shirt with a coat with a fur collar with the sleeves ripped off, but that felt ridiculous. So I decided to give him a black sweater, all the while I'll have him keep his flannel shirt. Originally the shirt was going to have goldish green plaid stripes, but I forgot to put them in. But I also kept his dark blue jeans, and I gave him dark green canvas boots, which are these. okay, looking back at the drawing now, I wish I gave him orange jeans like these. That would have definitely fit in with his design. Also, you guys may have noticed that his clothes seem to be really wrinkly. I thought it would fit in with his character since, because of his spasm and paranoia, he would have a hard time trying to keep his clothes in check. Also, for a more distinct look, I put bags under his eyes since, again, he has paranoia, so he probably doesn't get a lot of sleep. And I added a coffee necklace since I think his family's coffee shop also has souvenirs, which I think his parents would make him wear to promote their business. Finally, one may have noticed a flag pin on his shirt. Yep, that's a Pan flag. Yes, in this AU, I had Kid Tweek as Pan and Craig as Vi. Now, I know Trey Parker announced it a while back at the Tweek and Craig episode that Tweek and Craig are gay, but there were scenes of them being interested in girls. If you guys take a look, if you guys take a look at the past episodes, and I don't think Trey and Matt were giving any hints of them being into guys instead of Tweek and Craig episode. Oh, okay, they did it with Craig. Okay, they did it with Craig in that one episode where Carmen has Tourette's, but I don't think they did. But I don't think they did any with Tweek. So please, all the pink fangirls and boys, please do not attack me. Alrighty, guys, we are at the very end of the video. I just got a few last things to say before this video ends. First, each character is going to have their own unique logo, which is what I'm doing right now. And yes, for the poses, they're like the ones you see in Danganronpa. I'm drawing it like that because I think it looks cool. Finally, there's this one special video that I want to do. Since I am in college and on the autistic spectrum, I thought it would be pretty interesting if I could tell how my life is in college and like how I'm interacting with others and how my school is, etc. So I wanted to do a video about that, and I'm hoping I could release it before school starts again. So I will be doing illustrations and also more sprites in order for this to be good, and also inspiring. Also, I forgot to mention to you guys, I know you guys noticed I'm using sprites for this video. Yep, I'm gonna be using sprites from now on for my videos since it'll be a lot funner that way, and it'll give me more recognition. Alrighty, guys, that's the end of my video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. The next video is going to be another speed paint of this AU, which I'm hoping will be out soon. Also, please feel free to like and subscribe to my channel, and also leave a comment, and I will see you guys next time. Stay tuned.